Good afternoon, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Today, my daily dose of growth is work ethic. And there's going to be a mixed message here, so figure out what you believe. How do I even want to start? So, all right, let's get to the basics. So, I've never had a job, right? I worked as a commission salesperson for a sausage company for a year or two. Made a bunch of money. Commissions where it's at. If you're good at what you do, I literally negotiated with them and told them I don't want salary. I want a percentage of everything I sell. And they said no at first, and I said I don't want to work in. Eventually, they came around and they were happy as heck because I was on the number two sales team in the entire nation, out of like 1,400 teams. So the other, and then I also was a 1099 soccer referee for a while. That was also a great job. Highly recommend it. Any sort of referee, get out, get sunshine. You learn conflict management. You learn all sorts of fun stuff. Other than that, I've owned my own businesses and made my own money my entire life. And at 27, I essentially retired. That was a time when I no longer had an alarm clock, no longer had set hours, and began my own schedule. Um, I don't remember. I think I had maybe seven businesses at that time. And so I essentially switched to doing like 2 hours a week at each business and working on it and meeting with people during those 2 hours. Some businesses, younger businesses or early businesses, I spent more time. But before that, I was from like 17 to 27, even while I was in college. In college, we won't get into that. I'm still not really sure what the outcome with the feds was with that, but I we did not get fined and we haven't been charged with anything. So as far as I know, we were perfectly legal, and I'm not in jail, and the statute of limitation has expired. We did get some stuff confiscated. That's a whole other story. I'll go back to all my legal fun issues. That one was a wild one too. Um, but today let's focus on the 100-hour work week. So I, like many of you, read the 4-hour work week or 5-hour work week, whatever that book is, when I was roughly 20 and had just finished college. I was like, this is dope. Yeah. And one of my close friends, Harrison, actually read it as well around the same time, or maybe after me. I think he was reading it, and it kind of reignited the flame in me. He built, I think he built it first. He built a little online course. I believe his was some sommelier, like little wine tasting guide. I think it had something to do with bachelors. I don't know, but he built a little website, had like a little white paper that you could buy, little PDF, a course, something like that. And I'm pretty sure that inspired me. I was like, oh, I could do that. So I created one on Facebook and Twitter marketing, which were pretty much the only ones there. I was writing my thesis, a huge, massive research paper that you have to do to get your degree on the evolution of marketing, from yelling from one rock to the other, to emails, to phones, to screaming at the store, whatever, all the way up to social media. Then that was essentially the thesis, was proving that social media is the most efficient method, which I think still holds true today, although today it's a lot more difficult than it was then. So I had a social media marketing firm that I opened in 2009. Yeah, that sounds about right. And was selling courses. I mean, I was doing the work too, but we were charging like, they were not called likes then. They were called followers. Or now they're called followers. They were called likes back then. Charging money per likes, charging money per management. But the biggest thing was selling courses. Here's how you can make money for your business on Facebook. And at that time, you had to have a college email address. So it was I think they maybe just opened it to the general public. So a lot of businesses are like, you can't make money off that. It's a social media, this or that. And then it was like right when they came out with pages, which are still a thing. Yeah, still a thing. Sorry, terminology has changed so much with Facebook. So that was when I essentially started the 100-hour work week. I went from a 4-hour thinking I was going to work 4 or 5 hours to 100 hours. It was a lot of work building that business. Right around that time, we started finding our space to open up Pharmaceuticals. We were trying to figure out logistics. And then Eric Holder, the attorney general, announced they wouldn't prosecute. So then we were finding places that would rent to cannabis, which was really, really, really difficult. Finally found that. So then I was driving to Denver and running the store while coming back and running my marketing firm while doing my odds and ends. I mean, I was still flipping stuff off Craigslist, flipping couches, all sorts of stuff. So from there, then ended up starting to work like maybe 30 hours up at the store. A lot of drives to Denver. Then it increased until I was working probably like 5 days a week. I think I moved to Denver probably 6 to 8 months after that, and this is after I was in Italy. Yeah, after I lived in Italy. So then I started working more. But I mean, it got to the point where I'd wake up at 5 or 6 a.m., work with China because I was doing some imports in the business of China. Power Banks Instatricity was there. We sponsored the U.S. Olympic Pan American Games, which was really cool. So I was doing a lot of work with China. I had InstaBliss vaporizers, doing even more work with China. Then at like 9:30, I would go into the store, work there. During my lunch hour, I would be running and doing meetings around town, trying to land clients, this or that. Work till like 7:30 or 8, and that would be the 12 to 14 hour day. Yeah, and that was pretty much every day. Super fun. I think I worked every Saturday. I think Sundays I took off, but even when I was off, I was still responding to emails, this or that. I mean, even now, this is where I live. I still work. I still respond to people, check in on my team, all that kind of stuff. Still building new companies. We've launched 3 new companies in the last month. Why? I don't know. It's fun. Solves problems, helps people, makes life good. Teaching people is awesome. And building systems for people to succeed is actually really cool. Like my Island's Best Deals is really fun. Cheapest, most efficient way for a small business to market. They only pay for qualified leads, which is super cool, and it's cheap. It's only $2.50, which is dope. But anyways, so I'm building all these companies, right? I bought my first house, I think, at 25. So then started being a landlord, having to fix stuff. Lunch break would be either go to a meeting somewhere in Denver or go fix something at the house. Then I started an Airbnb. So then it started being like, okay, now run and go wash sheets or make sure it's clean so that the Airbnb guests are happy. And then I got a second house and then a third house. Then I got to the point when I was 27 where I was like, I can't come in anymore. I'm no longer working hours. I'll come in for a couple hours a week. And we hired a GM, and that was kind of the end of that. Since then, I probably still worked 100-hour weeks on all my other stuff, and just took out like the 40 to 50 at my store. But then by that time, I had opened other stores. Then I had Candy Shot, Second Wind, little pop-ups here and there. And then I started, actually, I think Denver's Best Events was before that. But that was, at one point I was doing like 9 to 10 events a week. And so I would only be able to go to like 4 or 5 of them, but wake up at like 7 or 8, work on meetings, calls all day long, and then go to an event till like midnight. So work has never really scared me, and I love doing it. And I also get to choose and pick what I do, right? I build my own businesses, so I build stuff that I like, and it's fun. So that's a benefit of me that I like. And I always knew I'd be an entrepreneur. And I'd always tell my parents that. And my dad and mom would always say, you have to get your degree to fall back on in case it doesn't work out. So I got my diploma. I literally walked up to my mom and handed her my diploma. And I have never seen it since. I don't know what it looks like. I assume it's gold and black, as my college was. But I literally had my diploma for probably 45 seconds and then handed it off to my mom. And I've never seen it since. Outside of that, 100-hour work weeks for 10 years. And you can live a happy life after. That's always my advice. If you can do 100 hours a week for 10 years, what is that? Divided by 7? Ooh, I don't even know. 15 hours a day? That's a lot. But you have 24 hours a day. You need 8 to sleep, so you got 16 hours to do what you want. You can build your future, or you can